Hello everybody and welcome back after a short intermission. Thanks to the length of the previous best of three, we're going into one-up taken on Avenue. As we can see, it's going to be an Avenue knife round as they now get to decide whether they would like to start on the Axis or the Allied side. This knife round had no power over the veto as that's already been decided. It has been Manorhouse chosen by one-up, Coastal chosen by Avenue, and the decider will be Savoia. The first time we actually see this map coming out throughout the qualifier, this should be interesting. Starting out on the Allied side is going to be one-up, with Avenue choosing to remain on the Axis side after the knife round. And as we go into the action, I'm joined by Dean. How you doing today, Dean?
I'm good. Still good as I was earlier on, and I'm looking forward to some more great battalion action. Of course, we had a pretty interesting best of three earlier. The first map, I'd say, was by far the most entertaining. From that point forward, it was a little bit of a sweep. But we're into this action now, and already Alvator has claimed the opening kill. A one-man advantage going in favor of one-up. Living up to their name indeed, as they look to try and converge on this B-bomb site now. And as you can see already, a couple of Axis players in position to try and hold it down, and the rotate for the rest is now also coming into place.
As this bomb starts to make its way towards the side, Cash King's in a little bit of trouble, getting taken down by Failser. But that bomb plant is going to be almost denied, never mind, as Daxton and Looney are going to fall very quickly. That's a convincing one-up round, losing no tokens. And starting out by building their economy up strong. Everybody is going to have a standard one-token weapon moving into the second round on the Allied side, as they have the ability to actually just not buy into this. They'll take up a couple of nades. And Failser is actually going to upgrade there, taking out the M1 Garand in the second round after being donated over a couple of tokens. We can already see, thanks to not losing any players, the economy is thriving on the Allied side. They're going to look to make their way towards A this time, at least that's how it seems as we open things up. But the bomb is still towards the spawn tank. As we can see, they're holding for any aggression that may come through from the Axis, watching for B pushes, trench pushes, and indeed a manor push. While they're doing that, Failser and Alvatar are making their way up A long to try and pressure out that A defense and hopefully drag a rotation from the Axis, which will go in through the Allied spawn. As the flank would come in, it would be watched by 3 players, and hopefully that would give them a one-man advantage. However, they're not able to claim that advantage as they lose Alvatar over towards the A-long area. Now they're all just going to group up there and attempt to take this site with the utility that remains. That is 1 smoke and 2 grenades. And they'll be making their way out onto that bomb site momentarily. We could have a relatively good execute coming in here. The smoke going down presumably towards Trench, and the nades will be able to cover some good angles. They're going to be going over now as the spot has already been found. Cash King spotted out a couple of players over towards long, so they're going to know the rotation will start to come in from B momentarily, but the kills are going to be coming in on A. Oh, that M1 Garand dropped actually. Now it's going to be picked up by Looney. He might be able to dispense some good damage with this. It is, of course, still a 3v3 as the bomb goes down. Oh, but they're not looking. As Yangaroo gets taken out by CDE, Looney also finds one, and that leaves poor Juice. That is Josh, of course, with a nice little couple of O's in between the J and the S. Joshua. But Josh manages to grab nothing as he's taken down on that bomb site. Not a whole lot of opportunity, and maybe a little bit of a sloppy late site take, I suppose. Like, once they got on that bomb site, they had the bomb, they're ready to get the plant down, but then they're peeking very aggressively. They push towards Axis spawn, they push into the barn, but they're not quite watching the barn because there's a smoke down. They think that it's covering the entirety of the door, but of course there's a gap in the left which a player would walk through. That was all just a little bit sloppy, getting picked apart after claiming the site. Not what we like to see, and it looks like we're going to see a similar enough strategy, this time focused over towards the shed of A. As a nade goes in, that's going to deal so much damage. Never mind.
Quick trades. Looney going to be able to return one also. He puts the advantage slightly in favor of Avenue. Just going to be rattling off shots as the smoke goes down, and likely now shouldn't really be able to put up too much more of a fight for the bomb site, as with no nades available either. A bomb plant looking likely. Joshua does indeed just go ahead and stick that one. So a 3-on-4 after plant now for the Allied side. not looking amazing initially, but they do successfully return 2 quick frags after losing Jangaroo. And now it's a winnable position. All onto Looney and Souls to try and pull off the retake. But now it's all for Joshua. He's 1v2, he peeks out, and Looney start to go ahead and double down. We see a second round being claimed for Avenue.
And that second round coming in for Avenue. That A defense, or at least the retake, is certainly working out for them so far. But that bomb being planted does mean that the Allies have a little bit of money stacked up. Especially when you look at the fact that they're on the 2-loss bonus as well. So they've got the 2 tokens coming into play. They're going to be feeling pretty happy. Able to get a decent enough buy should they choose to. But it looks like they're just going to be focusing over onto that utility and carbine buy, saving their money up for the next round. If they lose this, we'll remind you that they do get 3 tokens. That is without a bomb plant. Look at the barrage of nades coming in from the Axis. Nothing to be landed there. Of course, that will put most of them in a situation where they can buy M1 Garants and a grenade. But they're going to look to win this round out. And so hopefully they won't need to upgrade, as they'll be able to pick up a few off the corpses of the Axis. 1 kill already landed there, as Cash King is going to be taken down. Movement towards the B site. But it is going to be a slow push indeed. With the man advantage, they're hoping that the Axis re-aggress to try to grab a little bit of information.
Yeah, not going to be happening as of now. See, it is a pretty passive setup still coming in from Avenue, even with the man disadvantage. But for now, they do just go ahead and keep 2 players over towards B. And a pretty passive setup on the A-bomb site as well. You can see actually CDE is all the way back in spawn, watching towards mid, and then Looney himself is pretty far back on that A-bomb site, giving a lot of room for 1UP to work with, really. Slowly going to be approaching up through middle as they look to try and come around through the barn. And actually the A-bomb site is now being completely left open. It's all for these players to try and actually cut off the cross on mid. And CDE at least will successfully find the first one. Takes down Jangaroo, but as we can see, 1UP still going to be able to push in towards that bomb site. The question is, can they delay this bomb plant for any period of time? CDE gets himself a second, but he does try and push in immediately, which means he will be successfully returned on by Fluffy.
That almost comes into a kill there. The spam coming through from Daxton. Not quite capable of catching the shot, and fails. Are in a really good position to pick up one as Daxton tries to make his way into the barn. Now with the peak coming out as well from Soul, still full HP. Fails might have been able to win at that fight had he not have been low on ammunition. As now Looney actually dropping the smoke on the side. He's going to go for the defuse as the distraction comes in. Soul's pushing in with the MP40. Oh, he picks up the double spray down, and the defuse will come through. A fantastic retake for Avenue, 3-1, as they are showing us how Manorhouse Axis side is supposed to be played. Now, we're seeing a much better Axis hold here than what we saw in the previous iteration of Manorhouse, Dean, where it was, I believe, 13 rounds to Comrade on the Allied side.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, 13-2 at halftime, I remember, if I remember correctly, rather. So, looking to be a good start for Avenue, at least. They did, of course, didn't see it that first round, and since then have taken 3 in a row. But now there's a pretty solid buy for 1UP. They have the sniper coming out. They have plenty of grenades. Surprisingly, they haven't used many of them yet. And over on the Axis side as well, they've kept 4 in their possession, or rather 3 in their possession. So they'll be good to try and work well on those retakes if they're going to be needed. As right now, it's just a split from the Allied side. 1UP just waiting to see if anyone aggresses on Avenue, as they were kind of gifted one in the previous round as well, but sadly they weren't able to capitalize on that and turned it into a round, hoping that this time around it may be a little bit different.
Well, 1UP had great success over towards this B bomb site before. This time, though, with a sniper rifle, not able to scout anybody out just yet. They are going to have to go for the aggressive peeks. Oh, unfortunate for Daxton, he's spotted out by the scope and eliminated. But over towards radio, we can see that Souls is going to be sitting And waiting for a peek. Cash King with a good nade manages to land one, but that allows Fails to pick up the Tommy gun. Now he's going to be eliminated. Never mind, not going to be able to get up to all too much. The position over towards Radio able to pick up one kill, but Souls is traded out by the M1 Garans, bringing it down to a 2 versus 2. But then the trade instantly comes in from Looney to help out his teammate Souls. He avenges his dead teammate with 12 seconds left. They know that he's going to be sticking this bomb. His health regenning though. Josh is able to get that plant down. And now looking to peek those doors. Got to be careful. Looney's watching that one M1 Garan, but he's going to be taken down. Now it's all on to CDE. 1v1. Spotted out, but the Garan shot's not going to hit, and he's eventually landing a nice headshot there with the Gewehr. He can only see the tip of his head, but does manage to land that kill in the end. Getting the tokens before going for the defuse. As there are quite a few tokens floating around, and he has got quite a bit of time.
Yeah, indeed he does. Easy tokens. Up to 7. And of course they're going to get one more each for the defuse.
Bomb defused.
And it's 4-1 now for Avenue. It's been, I guess, one positive for 1UP is the fact that most of these rounds have been extremely close. It hasn't been kind of Avenue kind of just completely stomping them out. So they're definitely putting up a solid fight. As we can see, they get another pretty decent buy into this round. The sniper once again comes out for Failser. Let's see when this is where they're finally going to be able to get another round. It's all about just trying to grind them out.
Yeah, you just want to clock those rounds up one at a time. And on the Allied side, as you said, it can be a grind. It's all about grinding those rounds out. You got to pick them up wherever you can. It's certainly going to be more difficult to do. Failser, look at the HP. Crimson red. The nade comes over as well. That could finish him off. But no, it lands just about tips off the roof. Doesn't quite go into the arch to eliminate him. The good angle being held again by Looney. This time Failser is going to be able to get the first shot off and then hold the angle. So Looney will be unable to re-peek there. That opens up a little bit of the A side, although as the smoke goes down towards the arch, it cuts off that line of sight, allowing Looney to once again re-peek. But those smokes going down should allow them to at least make their way towards the bomb site on the Allied side without being spotted. Nade comes over. Looney is in grave danger, and now he's in a grave as he's been taken down, lying in the crater that would be left behind by that grenade. 2 versus 4, but look at this flank coming in now from CDE. He's spotted out though. It's expected by Fluffy, who catches him on the flanky danker, and it is just going to be a save as Avenue don't want to risk all of the equipment that they have currently got. One smoke, an STG, a Tommy gun, and an MP40. That is a considerable amount of money that they've still got floating around. Considerable amount of tokens, and they don't want to give those away, so it's a nice passive play to finish off the round. As we're into it, that's going to be 4-2. That second round now picked up by 1UP at long last.
Yeah, as I said, all the rounds had been pretty close, so it's just about kind of a few extra things going in their favor, and they'll be able to pick up another round. And that's what I said. It's all about kind of just grinding them out. So getting themselves a second, managing to keep 4 players alive in the process, carrying over some utility. Of course, the sniper still being in the hands of Failser. It's a nice round win. But of course, another buy going to be available for Avenue. It's pretty decent. It's not actually spectacular. They do only have 1 grenade, so they're going to be quite limited on the ability to open it up with those nades, of course. While on the side of 1UP, they have everything they could want. I don't think they're really going to find anything with the nades early on, it doesn't seem. And as we can see, at least, right now, Avenue, they've gone ahead and kind of stacked up that defense over towards A long. There's 2 players in this position. Right now, only Alvair who's holding it a little bit more passively, waiting to see if anyone aggresses. So, for the moment, at least, their trap is not going to be too useful. As he peeks out as well, he gets a bit of info and damage in the process, causing him to fall back to safety.
Now we can see that 1UP are clearly setting up for a bit of an A take. We've got Failser missing the shot there with the sniper. He does quite a bit of damage, but not able to connect the body shot for 100 HP, or indeed the head. As Looney regens that health, he will eventually be taken down by Yangaroo. A nice shot hit. As they make their way towards the A bomb site, CDE starts to rotate in from middle to help out towards the pit. He actually makes his way all the way onto that bomb site. The smoke down allows him to aggress even further and get up close to the barn. They'll be checking this angle as they come out, but he's able to find it with the Tommy. Trade comes in as well. Cash King helping him out. It's actually not even a trade because CDE survives at least a little bit longer before being taken down. And with the man advantage, it should be easy to deny that bomb plant, especially with the nade coming over, landing and claiming a double kill. Daxton is going to be happy with that as tokens are saved over now by the Axis side. And they've got a couple of weapons as well, although they won't be overly thrilled with what they saved over. An MP40 and a Tommy gun, basically all that they get, with the exception of the Gewehr carbine, but that's of course one token. Oh, I didn't notice Souls also has an M1 Garand. He's going to be happy then. He's capable of taking the close or long range fights. Indeed, the Garand is capable of taking close range too at the hip fire, but MP40 can help you mow down multiple opponents.
Yeah, always nice to have, especially for super close range. And as you said, if there's multiple opponents coming in your direction, always nice to even just have the ability to fall back to another weapon. Allvator, nice little boost there. Just looking to see if he could find any opening kills. Sadly, did get spotted out and in the process wasn't actually able to take anyone down. The aggression came in early on towards B from that Axis side, pushed up into the house, which is kind of a bit of a, I guess, worry in the heads of the 1UP players. But they do still find a kill onto Daxton, but you can see they do have to be very cautious of all the positions just because they know the aggression had come in. Oh, that nade. Will it be able to find anything? It's close, but no. Just about able to hang on to life. I believe that was Cast King, and another frag actually going to be found by Allvator.
Soul's in there with the 2 kills, though, is going to trade it all the way back. Leave the Axis in an okay position. Shots being missed there by Souls. Only able to do a little bit of damage to Alvatar before falling. That damage, of course, is going to... Never mind. Not going to regen because he's hit by a Gewehr. As Yangaroo goes for the peek at just the wrong moment, he's now spotted out. And Looney has the information on where he is. Cash King doesn't know that Failser's coming up right behind him, though. And as Looney goes for the peek towards the bomb planter, he's got to worry about Car as well. As Failser takes him down with that MP40. Signals the end of the round. 5-3. 1UP now picking up rounds consistently, 2 in a row, as they're starting to close in on the Avenue scoreline. They're going to be feeling pretty happy right now if they can maintain this kind of win rate on their allied side, as most teams do favor that Axis half. We want to see Avenue coming back into it pretty soon. I mean, right now they're on Gewehrs, they've got 2 smokes, that's it. It's not the best of buys, and especially when you're up against a sniper there on Failser. And like you said, Dean, in the previous best of 3, this is a map that is probably one of the better maps to be using that scoped weapon, no longer cards. But it's one of the better maps to use those scoped weapons on, of course, as you're going to be able to take more long-range fights over towards B long, mid, and mid trenches indeed.
Yeah, and we can see right now at least 1UP just grouped the ball over towards B basically. Souls is getting quite aggressive, and I don't know if anyone's actually going to spot him out when he pushes around through this house. You can see Fluffy actually back in the courtyard, and closest player being Joshua, who is actually in a decent position, but he's made a lot of noise in the process, but never mind. They're both able to peek him, they do the damage together, and they find the frag. As a man advantage is going to be claimed for 1UP as they continue to look to try and just take it towards this B bomb site. Which, in the process of giving away their position, of course, the rotates have begun to come in already from Avenue. Will it be enough to actually defend is the question, and so far it doesn't seem to be. Joshua and Fails are able to find 1 each, and it's cleaned up by the double J's. Joshua and Jangaroo. 4-5. As 1UP now are making this an impressive allied side already.
Yeah, certainly an impressive feat to claim those 3 rounds in a row, as they're keeping the Axis, well, the Axis economy are keeping The Axis are keeping their own economy. There we go. Pretty low. And the buys where they're investing into just aren't working out for them. And as the loss bonus starts to kick in, they are going to fully force up into it again. Gavers this time taking nades, but it's the nades to fall onto them heavily. Yangaru and Alvatar open things up. 2 kills coming in to things as 1UP are looking very solid with the 2-man advantage, making their way towards A long, where there are still going to be 2 players positioned on this A site. Daxton actually about to get a little bit aggressive. He'll get the info that the players are here, but it might cost him heavily. We can already see 2, 3 players looking towards him as he backs off now. He's lost a lot of health. Not going to be great to cross through that smoke, but he does manage it all the way over to hay bales. And as they attempt to push out, he'll be fully regened in terms of health, as well as the fact that I suppose they did stop him from spotting too much info. He only knows one of them are there, but he's going to figure it out pretty soon as they all start to descend upon him. He's taken down, leaving just Souls 1 versus 4 with an MP40. Not an easy situation to win out. Being watched long range by an M1 Garand, and he didn't even spot out Failser over towards the A shed. And that brings us to 5-5. It's another round being picked up by 1UP. They've already equalized things here and claimed 5 rounds, which is the base of a good scoreline on the allied side of Manorhouse. And if they can bring it to even 6, I mean, they're going to feel good. But at this point, with how consecutive and convincing these round wins have been, it's certainly going to be possible for them to claim an even greater scoreline, especially if they win this round, because you can see that Avenue are forcing up. They've got the same buy in every single round now until they go for just the 1 token buy on the Gavers, which doesn't seem to be coming in. So it's going to be 4 Gavers and an MP40 with nades. Nades are being held for late round, though, as they're going to attempt to probably play retake on the B site and then try to lob the nades over as the push comes in. As we can see, there is only going to be 1 player there. That's going to be Souls as the smoke goes over on B. Now we're going to see those nades being set up to be thrown. Hoping to get some heavy impact. That is a lot of investment. They've invested more in their nades than in their guns in this round.
Yeah, I feel like the main problem for Avenue on B is the way that they're not really playing it together at all. Souls, of course, he said he was in the bomb site. The rest of the players are hanging back to play retake. Let's see if that's going to work out for them. Nades are being thrown in already. All 5 players on the allied side, they are grouped up and looking to try and make their way in. And of course, Souls is going to be under a lot of pressure. He's going to have to step it up to find ideally 2 kills to put him in a good position for the retake. Otherwise, a 4-on-4 could still go either way. Here we go, Failser. He opens it up. Souls is going to be taken down immediately also. And as I said, those 2 B players just not playing together at all. No really chance to try and play off of each other. No teamwork allowed. As it looks like a 6th round is indeed going to be taken for 1UP.
Yeah, look, the Axis invested a total of 16 tokens into that round, and for their 16 tokens, 9 of those were towards grenades of some sort. So in total, basically, 7 tokens invested into weapons, 6 tokens invested into frag grenades on their own. And they're getting absolutely no reward from those frags. They're not being used effectively. 2 nades lobbed towards the site at the one time. They miss. 1 slightly delayed, but it lands over towards the shed and receives no hits. And the interesting thing is, as the push came in there, Souls heard that there were lots of players making their way towards the site, right? When you're going in for that take initially, that's when you're focused on the bomb site. You're focused on radio, you're focused on the back plat and the peak coming in from where Daxton was. As you saw, they even got the kill onto Daxton. That is when you want to be throwing those nades over. Now, Daxton had got a grenade and didn't actually throw it in time before he died. And it's relatively interesting to see that Souls had the information. There's at least 2-3 players here pushing. And we didn't see the nades come over. They wanted to wait until the bomb plant was going down, but that meant Souls was spotted out because they could systematically clear that site, and there's only 1 player there. Daxton's playing far back in an angle that's always checked. Both of them eliminated. Then they can watch for nades, no problem, with the smokes down as well.
Yeah, and now they're actually down by a round after having what was a pretty substantial lead. They were up 5-1 at one point. Opening kill at least to be found by Looney in this round. Second player perhaps to show himself soon, but the smoke goes down. And Nate to follow it up. I don't know if it's going to land. It was not quite on its mark, as it is still a 5-on-4 over the Axis side. So This is the best chance I guess we've seen them with in quite a while to actually claim another round. Looks like one player's going to be tempted to peek out mid. Hyman almost working against them. The aggressive push also coming in through the trenches. They don't really need to remain so aggressive, in my opinion, when they already have the advantage in positions where it's just allowing 1-for-1s to be taken. But the kills are going in their favor. That's what they need. And they do end up with a man advantage in a 3-on-2.
That nade coming over is dodged easily by Daxton. He's thrown one of his own over. One up in danger here as the nade lands down. It's not even the nade to find the kill, it's the Gewehr. And that is that.
Do you believe? If they can pull this back to 9-6, perhaps there's a chance. That would be an okay scoreline.
Yeah, look, they could come back into this, but with how strong 1UP have been, they won a series of rounds consecutively. Right there, it came down to a 2v3 with those opening picks, but I feel like 1UP have got this. They're certainly showing themselves to be a competent allied side, but at the same time, actually, now that I think about it, the Axis have had a terrible buy throughout all of these rounds. They're not managing their economy well, forcing up into every single round fully. Generally, what we do see, I was talking about this before, when you go in the lost bonus, you buy a Gewehr. Next round, you lose, you buy a Gewehr. Next round, you lose, Gewehr. But they're buying nades as well. 2 spray down there from Cash King, taking the opportunity to show us what a weapon that isn't a Gewehr can do. And the problem is that because they're buying these nades in every single round after the second loss, they don't have the ability to then buy Gewehrs, to buy MP40s, to buy STGs. They can only afford it on one player who's lacking utility, and the rest of them have to buy up that utility, or are buying up that utility. All they have to do is take 5 Gewehrs in 1 round, do that 3 times. If it doesn't work, right, yeah, they've got 3 rounds, but at least then you're not caught in a trap where you're constantly on Gewehrs, you know? I think it's that's been certainly a problem for Avenue, and as they move forward, they're kind of being caught in this trap again. The full utility not helping them out. Gewehr's not landing all too much. We saw Cash King come in with a 2K, but that's all they've managed to find now as the bomb's going down. Rotation coming in from Daxton over towards Spawn. Good nade coming in from Souls. And indeed, it's perfectly timed as Yangaroo is dropped by the Tommy gun, no less, not even the nade. No more nades left to deny that bomb plan, but the Tommy's going to try it again. Daxton aggressing forward, makes some noise as Avatar takes down Souls. Daxton is going to fall as well. 7-6. Look, I think if Avenue had a better handle on their economy, they'd have more rounds up right now. They should have lost 3 and then been able to come back STGs, utility, Car 98s, whatever they liked. But because of the way they're buying up right now, they initially had the confidence that, look, we can win these rounds if we find it, but no. It hasn't worked out for them, and now they find themselves actually 7-6 down on the Axis side. With only a couple rounds left to go, they need to pick up all of these to pick up that 8-7 scoreline.
Yeah, and even then, that's not ideal, of course. 7 rounds on the Allied side will still be pretty strong for 1UP. But they want to increase it even further. I'd say they're in a pretty good chance of doing so, and finally that boost does work out. Fails are able to claim the head of 1, but CDE, he's aggressive, able to find a single return, for eventually he is going to be dropped by Fluffy. Goes ahead and reclaims the man advantage for 1UP in this round. As with a 4-on-3, and with how well they've been playing, you begin to worry once again for Avenue, as the scorelines begin to slip away from them. And that kill, that's just going to influence them to push straight towards A, which, as we can see, is pretty open. They will have some contact to deal with by the time they get there. Daxton, if he wanted, could have gotten himself into position, but I don't think he is going to do so quite in time. Jangaroo on mid in a position to try and cut off the actual rotate. Needs to be cautious of Souls, though, who's also going to be coming in from behind. He finds himself a quick kill, and suddenly it's a 2-on-3. A smoke also in the possession of Souls to work with on the retake. The bomb is now just planted.
Well, we'll finish this round first. Daxton 1v3. I mean, he hasn't got a great chance. Josh, hopefully not going to peek up until he's regained his health. Indeed, he is just going to wait. again. No, this isn't going to be a round win. 26 seconds. The Gewehr shots have got to be on point, and as the MP40 shots are on the point of Nexton's nipples, he's going to be eliminated. 8-6. That was a weird analogy I just used.
What are you on about?
I wanted to. I said on point. I wanted to use that as that again, and it was just weird.
That was weird. That was
than I was expecting.
That was pretty weird. I'm not gonna lie.
I had to think.
Like,
I mean, he hit him in the
if
chest.
you're into
I
guys'
think it's
nipples,
another
that's
point.
okay. It's just not something normally you bring up on a stream.
Dean, you stayed in a house with me in Budapest for a week. You know.
Okay.
You know all about it.
Hey, nothing happened. Except for a bit of licking.
It's not even a lie. But my pet hate, I think, within Battalion, or just life in general, is people peeking up when they're low HP. It's probably my least favorite thing. Just why? Let your health regen, man. 50 HP is not good to be taking a fight against an SMG. Cash King having no chance to regen his HP there as he was 1 HP. His avatar jumped around the corner and picked up the kill. That puts us into a 4 versus 2, and 1UP consistently winning out these aim duels, finding out those 1-1s. The 2-man up late round. Seems to be always a 4v2 as well, or 3v2. It's always 3 kills going in as a bomb site falls. Poor Looney and CDE. They're not having a great time right now. Top fragging their team, able to find 1 kill there, but still 3 men remain as the bomb will be going down over towards the A site. They fell for that fake on B. As the bomb goes down with the assistance of a smoke. Oh, good nade coming over, actually. Oh, it does land a kill. I thought that was going to be on the other side of the bomb, but no, he actually threw it a little bit further. Manages to get it onto Fluffy. CDE coming in for the peak as well. This is looking good for Avenue. Well, it was. Until Looney got dropped just there. CDE still has got the angle. Misses the head, though, as Avatar drops down just in time. Pushing to the site. There's so little time. He just has to hide, but the pistol comes in and they get it. Oh, no. Fails or hits that shot with less than a second, I think, left. That was upsetting. But it is going to be 9-6. 1UP on a huge advantage. As they move over to their Axis side with a 3-round lead and a mere 7 rounds away from victory. This should be a win on map number 1 for 1UP.
Well, it's not over yet, Mitch. They definitely still have a chance to try and pull this back. They're over on the Allied side now, though, with a 3-round deficit to start it off. Not going to be an easy task at all, but it looks like we might see a very quick round to go ahead and initiate things. Smoke's being thrown up towards the top of mid. That gives them the opportunity to split into the barn if they wanted, but looks like for at least now, they're going to take it fairly slow. Eventually do find some contact over on long as well. Joshua able to spot out a couple players coming up through this position, and this should give them the info that it's going to be this A split now. Problem is they aren't able to actually hold it down already. 2 opening kills going to be found. The third Salvator is able to go ahead and drop CDE, and this round is over. Only Daxton remains.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick 1UP round there. 1 kill comes in for Daxton, but a grease gun up against those long-range fights of Gewehrs. Isn't going to be the most winnable situation in the world. Drops his smoke over towards that bomb site. Flank is coming in slowly from Failser, but will he be needed? No, he won't, as Alvatar finishes off the final point of damage onto Daxton. That is going to be 10-6. As double digits now reached for 1UP with a 4-round lead. And indeed pushing the Allies onto a pretty poor bye. We should probably see a scoreline of 12-6 before a decent buy comes out. That is if Avenue decide to follow the more conventional strategy for economy management this time. Weren't big fans of it in the other half, but it cost them pretty heavily. As from the 6th round on, they didn't manage to find any rounds.
Already the man advantage in favor of 1UP. This is not looking good for Avenue at all, is it, Mitch?
No, it really isn't. 1 man down on the defensive side. That nade looking to return something, but not finding anything coming down be long. Now into a position where on the 5v4, Avenue are very spread out. They do seem to be gearing things up towards the B bomb site, but CDE is looking to peek into a barn. That could be costly. Yangaroo holding up close. Although he slowly backs off that angle. A good decision as he makes his way towards his teammates to help out. Fluffy towards radio on B as Alvatar is at the back. This is a hold that we saw coming in for Avenue, actually. And it didn't work out too well for them, but a very slow push. Still, the kill is found, though, by Souls, catching Fluffy as he tries to make his way back into radio. Now with the 4v3, Alvatar going to be peeking in. Low HP to be found on Looney. Not quite able to connect the kill just yet. It is Josh, though, to finish off Souls. And now with 2 players just remaining on the Allied side, this should be a quick defuse, unless Cash King has something to say about it. Already finding 1 kill. Peek comes in from Looney, who's again going to be hit down very low and has to go for that regen. Time ticking away, but the flank not going to be able to come in, actually. Cash King finds one of the fails her, but is eventually going to be eliminated. Alvatar and Yangaroo finding those kills. Good retake. Very slow from the Axis, and the time really started to run down there. That could have been risky. The weapon's going to be saved over now by the Axis side. STG carried forward. An 11-6. The Allies looking to force up, actually. Taking the Tommy guns. It's going to be a fast push, we can imagine anyways. Although everybody else is going to be on carbines, actually. Focusing on utility instead. Probably a good decision. Utility here not as predictable as over on Liberation. The Allies have a lot of options in terms of where they dispense their smokes. Nades, however, coming early towards B. Not landing anything just yet. Fluffy manages to make it behind a box to dodge the second nade that came in. Looney already going to be the only player with a grenade in play. 2 smokes as they make their way towards the B bomb site. One's already down to slow them down. Alvatar actually comes in with a nade, but it's Looney to open things up onto Fluffy as they finally get a return for investment on that Allied side. Pushing through, though, Alvatar is going to be there with the STG. Holding up behind the bomb site, finds one. Traded back, but fails. There's in there as well. Keeping it down to a 3 versus 3. Those 2 kills from the Axis side, very important. Making the retake just a little bit easier.
But the smokes are down, making things even more difficult. This is looking to be a pretty good round right now for the Allied side. 35 seconds left to run down on the clock. As you can see, 1UP slowly beginning to move forward. But it's a very passive hold coming in from Avenue right now. They just want to sit back, try and play as much time as they can on that bomb, of course, which is currently planted for them. And there we go. Casking actually finds the opening kill. He can just go ahead and hide in safety, allow for his HP to recover. 1UP have to use some time as they try to clear out all the corners, but they're managing to find a couple of kills here. Quick trades, but it's eventually Casking that closes it out. He takes all 3 kills on that after plant. And allows for a 7th round to be claimed for Avenue.
(11-7). 4 rounds now remain between the Axis and the Allies. With Avenue closing in. 1UP are going to look to shut things down with a bit of a Gewehr buy. Not taking any utility. This is a more conventional strategy, as they're going to be saving up their tokens for some later on rounds. All they need to do here is drop some economy on the Allied side to try to keep that management just down a little bit. 1-for-1 trades. Looking okay for them as Fluffy comes in and trades back. Pre-fire. Taking down Daxton. Looney jumps over, but he's spotted out. Not able to land a kill either. And from what came from a pretty humble setting, it was looking like it was just going to be economy management. The Axis win, and that goes back to what I was saying previously about how the ecos really work in this game. It's more like a full CZ buy on a close range map. Because once you're able to invest those 1 tokens into the Gewehrs, and like I said, you get 3 Gewehr buys with nothing else, and then the loss bonus builds up to a stage that you can actually, that's if you lose each round, the stage you can actually buy up STGs, nades, whatever you like. But amongst those 3 rounds, you've still got a very good chance of winning, and right there we see why. The Gewehr is coming in force. 3K is coming in as well. And so 12-7, the gap extends in favor of 1UP. But still plenty of time left for Avenue to close this gap up. Though it has been extending since they've went over to the Allied side overall.
Ooh, Alvear getting completely caught off guard right there. Not being very cautious at all. He gets taken down through the doors. Nice opening kill in favor of Avenue. Just under a minute remaining as well for them to make a decision about where they actually want to take this round. For now, looks like they might be slightly favoring over towards B. You see Cast King is pushed up fairly far. And a boost is actually going to be coming in, similar to what we've seen from Failser quite a few times over on the Allied side for 1UP. Let's see if it's going to be successful in finding any further frags in their favor. Lots of Fs. But now they really need to get a move on to the bomb site time, beginning to run low. I feel like Mitch is muted again, so I'll go ahead and take over. 2v2. Joshua going to be pushing up close. Has to check on the right side. He will indeed. Actually, the peek comes in. Gives him a pretty much free kill on towards Daxton. And now it's all down to Looney. 1-on-2 for him to try and secure this round, as 1UP have managed to pull it back in their favor slightly. Of course, the bomb is planted and the time continuing to run down as the timer is just about to reach 25 seconds. Smoke gonna go in, and of course, as we can see, a flank from Jangaroo also in play from behind, but that's actually gonna be expected. Oh no, never mind. I'm a bit stupid. I confused up the sides. But yeah, quick kill to be found. It was actually Jangaroo who found it.
Hello, I am back.
Hello, Mitch.
Sorry,
Did you mute again?
I had to run there for a second.
Oh, okay.
Was being a little bit loud.
I thought you muted again.
No, it was intentional. I just ran. I got back just in time to see you mix the sides up. It was good.
Yeah, it's
See,
it's the blue in the logo of 1UP that's actually throwing me off.
Ah, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Well, look, they're 13-7 up, and they're certainly throwing off the offense as well, because Avenue came into the half 3 rounds down, and now the lead has extended further. Nice kill from Yangaroo with a pretty common strategy. Spam straight down middle and get that kill in through the doors. Nade comes over as well. He's looking to extend that lead even further, but Avenue do a good job of avoiding it. They don't avoid the bullets coming straight out of Failser, though. As it's going to be a 5 versus 3. Allies looking to make their way towards the B site, but they're already at a pretty big disadvantage. With Cash King just being the last alive, it's certainly not likely that he'll be able to pick anything up.
Yeah, 14 is likely for 1UP. Cast King and Ace Clutch, I don't really see it happening, especially with the bomb out of his possession and under the control of the Axis side. He has now been spotted, of course, and taken down by Alvear. 14-7. 2 more rounds for 1UP to take the victory here on the first map. Of course, it is a best of 3. I think the next map is Coastal, if I remember correctly, and then Savaya as the decider if needed.
Yeah, Savoya will be the decider if it's needed to go to a 3rd map. But Coastal up next. We'll certainly be seeing that come out, and we might even see it pretty soon. As nades come over from the Axis, not going to connect anything. There's nothing like that moment when you let that nade go and you're just waiting to hear the explosion. And hoping there's a little bit of it in it as well. As that tick comes in and you know that you've got that opening frag for your team. Alvater, here's the nade, but unfortunately it's not going to be his as he's taken down very low. The push comes over towards the B side. Fluffy to open things up with the MP40. Pistol deployed, but not able to land any kills with it, as in comes CDE as well with a kill on to Fluffy. Knife kill there from Fails, but sadly it is going to be a 3 versus 3. And this could be difficult. The retake may also be failing, as passive positions held now by Avenue. They can watch this bomb. as the defuse is attempted, but with 1 kill already on the board, 1UP have more than enough men to cover the few angles that they can actually come from. Maybe even meat shield the defuser. It's tapped, which forces out a peek, but in comes CDE with a double. The +10 comes out, and he's looking for more. No more time to defuse as Looney finds the final 14-8. Avenue looking to make that comeback real.
Yeah, perhaps there's a chance, but still 6 rounds behind on the Allied side. I wouldn't be too confident in it, honestly. I feel like 1UP have been playing pretty well so far. They're in a position where they're only 2 rounds away from victory, so unless it's an absolutely massive choke, then I don't think they're going to lose this map. But who knows? We've seen it happen before. There's a lot on the line as well here, so this is where teams show their best, and of course with all that pressure, some players, maybe they begin to struggle when a massive lead kind of begins to slowly slip away.
Yeah, that lead probably won't slip away, though. On the Axis side, we said this before when it was Comrade Gaming. And, you know, it's unlikely that you'll be able to string that many rounds together without the Axis at least picking up 1 or 2. And the 2 versus 3 now. Fails and Fluffy over on 1UP, looking to hold down. They've got the bomb under their control, but as Fails falls, it's all onto Fluffy. They should suspect him because he pushed all the way through, and indeed they do. Now spotted, it decreases his chances of winning pretty severely. And that's going to be it, 14-9. The rounds are closing in, to be sure, as the lead slowly but surely slipping away. 14-9, 5 rounds. That's all that Avenue need before they're equalized, and it's certainly possible. But this time the Axis is going to be able to get a full buy up again. Actually, they're a little bit mixed. You see Yangaroo on 1 and Alvatar on 2. They might just go for the Gavers, and then Yanger and Alvatar eco. Indeed they do, and that's something that 1UP are doing a lot better than Avenue, is the money management is a lot better. Calls for ecos are certainly coming at the right time.
Oh, Felzer. Opening knife. That's not ideal. Souls. And it was ripped from him. That's all you can say. Although, some pretty quick returns are going to be found. CDE, he finds that refrag, and Daxton and Cast are going to open up the B-bomb site in the meantime. So suddenly, a round that was looking good for 1UP is just completely collapsed. And Avenue, they're on the brink of being able to reach double digits. It looks like it will indeed be the case. Only Alvatar remains.
Popcorn, long range. That'd be a fight I'd love to see him win. He does a bit of damage.
12 damage.
That's some pretty good. That's a lot of damage. But no, that's 14-10. A round that we would expect the Allies to come out on top in. But here's where it gets difficult. Axis on a full buy now, able to get the nades up. The STGs surely going to come out. The spam down mid. Josh, I'm expecting to see that as well. 14-10, 2 rounds. That's all that 1UP need, and now on the full buy, this is where they have to find it. 5 grenades in play right now. 1 deployed by Alvatar should do some damage, but actually they spot it out and fall back in time. Oh my god, this is like an airstrike going down. There's grenades going off everywhere. Looney comes in with a nice smoke, but as he goes to drop his nade, he's going to be peeked in by Fluffy, but his teammate Daxton's there to help him out and make sure that he's not going to be dropped all too easily. Making their way towards that bomb site now. Let's see, an Alvatar on the opposite side of a smoke over towards mid isn't going to be able to do all too much of it's already on the Failser here. No, actually, Yangaroo has got a pretty good angle. He's able to hit a headshot on the Looney. Alvatar also going to find one as the smoke dissipate. A second comes in as well. The bomb planned being attempted. Daxton manages to bait 1 player out in the open. And I'd be surprised even if the Axis decide to use their nades right now. It looked like Daxton just threw that smoke out of his nose. Sneezed it out, pushing around the smoke. He'll be expected after no tag with that grenade, and there it is. Josh picks it up with the STG, manages to get himself a Tommy gun in the process as well, and 15-10. Just 1 more round needed. The Allies only going to get 1 token each, but as you can see, they've got a little bit of economy built up, so they should be okay. They should be able to get a decent enough buy into this, donating over some tokens to get an equal economy. But the nades are certainly going to be lacking if they go for Tommies. So we might even see some carbines come out, but do they really want to risk the carbines in the final round? And what could be the final round?
Yeah, this is looking like it could be the end. But Avenue, they've started to step it up on the Allied side. If they can get this round now, continue building with that, building up that momentum that they were previously finding, they would put themselves in a pretty decent position. 5 rounds. That's what they need to send it into overtime. But of course, that's 50% of what they've already found throughout this entire game. So it's still going to be a difficult task. The nades doing damage. A second to follow it up and claim the kill, but Looney returns one of his own. A 1-for-1 trade over towards B, where it looks like we are going to see Avenue looking to try and commit towards.
And this could be the final round as 1UP are looking to take that B site, though. We've got a pretty decent attack coming in. So they're not going to be retaking it all too soon. Alvatar tried, but not able to get it. Look how close that spam is from Failser. Just inches away as Souls finds himself one on the Yangaroo. It's just going to be Failser and Josh left alive. 2v4. The kills are going to have to fly in. And with 29 seconds, they're just going to save this. Oh! Good night, Souls.
Get destroyed. That's all you can say to that.
Indeed.
That should allow both weapons to be saved, or rather the 3 weapons, but both players to carry their weapons over. It will indeed, as we can see, Avenue not going to hunt it down any further. So 15-11 now. 4-round deficit is all that remains for Avenue to overcome to send it into overtime. Not looking quite as impossible as it was before, but reminder, of course, the Allied side where it's a little bit more difficult. But it's not like we haven't seen very solid Allied sides coming in the past. I'm sure 1UP had a great one of their own. They had 9-6, and yesterday, or rather, was it earlier today? CRG managed to claim themselves 13 rounds.
Yeah, that was just the last map there over on Manorhouse. So 15-11. Look, 1UP should have this in the bag, but it's not out of the question. 4 consecutive rounds can be won by Avenue. They have got the nades now after winning out the previous with the bomb plant. Smokes as well in play for them. And 2 Tommies there, Souls and Daxton. Realistically, it should be a close enough game, but the problem is, with 4 rounds to go, the Axis should be able to get at least 1 more full buy if they do, or 2, I think, if they do lose.
Ouch.
Start consecutively losing rounds. Yeah, Daxton not having a great time there. And 5v4 should put 1UP in a pretty favorable position to hold down this defense.
Indeed it will. Oh, okay. Soul somehow able to win that fight as he pushes through the smoke. I thought that was almost a guaranteed frag to be found for Jangaroo, but apparently not. Although Fluffy, he will return 1. Elevator looking to try and have the backstab as well, able to get a bit of damage, and equal trades coming in, it ends up in a 2-on-2. The Souls, he needs to be cautious, almost getting caught off guard himself. Still 50 seconds remaining as well, but currently the bomb dropped over towards the car position. So they will have to try and retrieve that eventually.
Now look now in this 2v2, this is cutting it close, but with 30 seconds left as they have to go and retrieve that bomb, things shouldn't be all too likely for them to pick this up. Josh is going to be watching for the crossover. The smoke goes down to stop him, but that's all the utility spent now for the Allied side. Still an aid remains on Failser, and he gets a 1. But with, oh, there it is. There it is. With 1 HP, he almost manages to clutch out the round, but ultimately the kill comes in from Josh. finishing the map off 16 to 11. The Axis on top of the first map, and we'll be moving over to Coastal now in just a minute. But before that, we're going to go to a quick break, and hopefully this will be quicker than the previous breaks. I'll hopefully be back here in just a couple minutes.